Welcome to the Surviving Marriage Podcast with Rufus and Jenny, marriage educators, best-selling authors, and relationship disruptors, giving you marriage education from decades of marriage experience. Here's Rufus and Jenny triplets.
We'll be man and wife. Assalamu alaikum, assalamu alaikum. Welcome to all of our global listeners around the world. Welcome to another episode of Surviving Marriage Podcast. I am your host, Jenny Triplet, and attached at my hip is my co-host, Brother Rufus.
Whoop, there it is.
Brother Rufus, also known as Ismail.
Brother Rufus.
Yeah.
What Brother Rufus going on around here?
And just as promised, if you watched our last episode, we were speaking about the 35 years of marriage, 35 things we've learned in 35 years. And we went into the marriage cliches, and we kind of went in depth.
Into more than that.
Yeah, we kind of went in depth into the marriage cliches. So this video, we're going to get more into the list of the 35 things, because there's always going to be somebody, well, y'all didn't say 35 things. Y'all got 35 things. Yes, there's a list. And you'll be able to see it in the show notes, and you'll also be able to see it in a blog that I plan on doing sometime this century.
Anywho,
sometime soon.
You better get back on your game.
Slowly getting back on the horse. You guys know that we've been away from this podcast for at least 2 years, if not more, a little bit over 2 years. So just getting back, just getting back into things. But before we get into that, I do have to do the housekeeping. And I ask that wherever you are listening, wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc., that you go ahead and subscribe, so you know when the new episodes drop, and you can listen at your leisure, either doing your commute, your drive, or on your job, or working out. Please subscribe.
What kind of advice you giving these people?
I'm just letting
somebody
people know,
gonna get fired up in here.
Listen to podcasts.
See ya.
And if you are following or watching us on Facebook or YouTube, please follow and subscribe respectfully. So that way you will get the notifications of when our podcasts pop up for new episodes. Okay. And then after that, after all is said and done, after you have listened, watched, and all of that good type of stuff, like, comment, and share with a friend, because this is good stuff. Okay.
Don't be like Sherry.
She ain't right. Okay.
I don't want to say what she's doing.
Okay. All right. So we're going to get in part what is it in Spanish? Do is French.
Huh?
Do.
Uno, dos.
Yeah, dos. Okay. So dos for
Spanish. Those people.
Okay. So we're going to get in part do. And like I had said in our previous episode, there's so many dynamics to our marriage, because we do encompass 3.5 decades, and we started young in our 80s. So we kind of grew together from our 20s to our 50s.
We started in our 80s.
And we started
so we must be aging backwards for real.
We started in the 80s. We got married in the 80s.
Oh, you said we started in our 80s.
So since we started in our 80s, we got married in our 80s, I'm going to speak on
the 80s.
I said
that's
the 80s.
You said in our 80s.
No, I said
in the 80s would be a little bit more appropriate.
I said the 80s. I said the 80s.
Okay. Rewind it back.
Okay. Take that. Rewind it back. Okay. All right. So since we started in the 80s, you got to watch the first part of the episode to get from 1 to 7. I'm going to start at number 8 on the list. Okay. And that starts in the 80s. Number 8. Adjustment period. There's an adjustment period that you're going to go through in your marriage. For us who never lived together and we came from different backgrounds, there was an adjustment period.
Well, I mean, whatever video that was you posted, somebody ain't waiting on no adjustment.
What are you talking about?
That period.
Oh, yes. There's going to be adjustment period. I don't care how much you think you know somebody, there's still going to be an adjustment period.
Yeah, but again, I'm referring back to that video.
I know what you're talking about.
Partner, yeah, he finna know somebody.
Talking about 10 years.
It ain't about to happen, Captain.
Yeah,
because this stuff be changing like the daylight and woohoo.
He playing.
Oh, he got wow. Okay. I hope he playing.
Yeah, he playing. Okay. All right. Number 9. budget. I had to learn how to budget. We lived on a budget in the 80s, and it was I didn't live on a budget. I didn't grow up living on a budget.
You
I
still
didn't
don't live on no budget.
When we first, one of the things we
You
first
don't
got
live
married.
on no budget now.
When we first got married in the
Well,
80s,
I need a budget now.
I had to live on a budget, so that was like a big
You-
acclamation for me.
You did your best.
I think we did. That's
We-
something. That's something
Oh,
that we
I
had to.
can budget.
That's something we had to learn. We were talking about 35 things we learned. Yeah, that's something that we had to learn. Budget. We had to learn how to budget.
And I mean, again, there's some people don't have to worry about a budget. Most people do.
Yeah.
Even
And
if you're wearing six figures, you still got to worry about a budget.
But also things come up in your marriage where you got a budget. Well, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes something comes in, maybe you have to save for something and you want to take it out of certain monies. So you got to learn how to budget.
All I'm saying, if you ain't never been tested in that marriage and you ain't never had the budget, I don't know. Because I know a marriage is supposed to be is to test you.
Number 10, loud does not equal right.
Loud don't equal right, but it also don't equal getting your point across either.
Loud does not. It doesn't matter. The louder that you get, the louder that you express yourself, does not mean you're right. It just doesn't. So yeah.
And if you're yelling at that point, because if you're getting loud, you're yelling. That's just agitation.
Okay. Number 11. Things change quickly. We had to learn that.
Too quick for me.
Just being married, our first year of marriage, like we went through so much. In our first year of marriage, you lost your grandfather, and the very next month or a month and a half, I lost my dad.
I'm referring back to your boy again. You think you know somebody after all these years.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. It changed real quick for a bruh.
Things change quickly. And I'm saying life circumstances, how that video is life, the commercial is life comes at you fast.
Right.
And
I know you're going to get to this later, but that's one of the biggest things about the card game is to help those adjustments, because things you ain't really thinking about or asking people.
No.
I should have asked a whole bunch of them questions.
But also, like I'm saying, with things change quickly with life circumstances. Imagine us just getting married. We're like, even 8 months? We weren't even 8 months, maybe 7 months into our marriage, and your grandfather died, which means we have to take off to go to. You could take off because you were in the military, but I was working a regular job at that time, so having to take it off. I ain't got time off, so I had to take it with the risk of you leave,
no points,
you're not gonna have a job. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have to weigh and balance in that. I'm not gonna stop you from going to your grandfather's funeral, but I gotta go to. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you have to wait. And then a month and a half later, my father dies. So once again, I have a job. Whereas like you're in the military, so they let you go. But
I was going to my boy's thing. I was going to check out my boy.
I have a job, and then I have to weigh it. Like, okay, if I go, I may not come back to a job. It's like those decisions that comes at you in quickly. So yeah,
I don't remember you thinking too long about it though.
Oh no, child, please.
I guess we must have been out of a job or something.
I was several times. Number 12. Stop it. Number 12. The newlywed phase can wear off quickly.
Everything can go quick.
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Everything is a quick.
Yeah.
It's a quick thing up in here.
Very quick, because life. Because it's life and how you deal with it. Our age, our age had a lot to do, with how we matured or how we handled things or didn't handle them quite well.
Well, everything gonna go quick, but I'm still going back to that video, because when everything go quick, things can change quickly.
Yes.
People's decisions can change quickly.
Yes.
So you can't hold people to something that maybe you talked about and you say, well, this is what you said. Well, things change. Just like things can change.
Change can change.
Change gonna change on you.
Yeah, change can change. Okay. All right. So the next section, I kind of split it up because, like I said, we have a lot of dynamics with our marriage, and the military was a part of it. I've spoke about the military, and if you've never been active military, or if you've never been a military spouse, which I was both at one time, there are certain aspects and parameters and different things that you have to learn about the military life. Okay. So number 13 on our list of 35 things we've learned in 35 years was processes. Like everything comes with processes. The military comes with processes, and you have to abide and respect those processes. Even though you are a spouse, you feel that you have a certain say or, different things, but no, with the military, those processes kind of override you in
the military was the process. I tell you, the people who dealing with the behind bars thing, that's a process for real.
That's a process. Yeah.
I'm just saying you got to get used to some things.
Okay. Number 14, acclimate. Whatever, even if it's not the military, if you're going into a marriage situation where your spouse's job is like the priority, you have to acclimate to that situation, because the military was about to ship him off and I was going to have to acclimate to that life. I was about to be that wife acclimating to that life, right? Because I rhyme like that, right? About to acclimate.
I was about to be alone because I was about to be gone.
And it's whatever. If you have a spouse that's working long hours, or is called, or a doctor on call on duty, or somebody that has to constantly move around, travel, because we know people that do that for their jobs. They're going all week and just home on the weekends and different things. You have to acclimate. It's acclimate, and it's something that you accept.
Either you gonna acclimate or you ain't.
Either you acclimate, or you don't.
Two choices.
Or you don't. Yeah. Okay. Number 15, recognize envy and deal with it accordingly. I think our time in the military.
I don't do envy.
Right. We don't do it. We don't welcome it. We don't want it. We don't any of that. But I think it was like our time in the military that we first realized that people were envious of our marriage. And your buddies.
I'm about to say, don't be talking about my boys like that.
Yeah, your buddies.
Lead them partners alone now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hey. your buddies was always trying to get you to, do this and do that. And
I mean, the thing is, don't look at what somebody else got and want your situation to be like theirs, because that's where a lot of them went wrong. And I can think of 3 off the top of my head that I'm like, how's it working for you, bro? Yeah. It ain't just work. I'm working my situation.
And I don't think none of them are married.
Yeah, but they didn't want to work their situation.
None of them are married.
I mean, you got to work your own situation. Don't be thinking about nobody else. Mm-hmm. I didn't. I stopped. I was like, oh, shoot. I got to deal with Miss Jenny.
Stop it. Number 16. When it rains, it pours. We definitely learned that. We had an apartment fire. We had an apartment burn up, or shall I say, when we were in the military, and that was challenging. That was one of the times, like, yeah. And it was just it just seemed like it was just one thing after another. Like our oldest had to have surgery, and the apartment fire, and it's just like we were so young and dealing with so much. Why were you up in there
trying to save the dresser though?
I wasn't trying to save the dresser.
That thing was black. It was black, but then it was biggity black at the fire.
Because
now that's a fire.
I mean, it was pretty much new. So that was. You know what I'm saying? You just try to save and hold on to what you had. That's pretty much like all we had.
It's about to burn.
So having a fire and it destroy a lot of what we had, it was almost like starting over, which we kind of did. We had to start over.
Destroyed everything.
Yeah. We kind of had to start over.
Oh, we started over.
Okay.
And who don't want to start over?
Yeah, us. Okay. All right. 17. Calling it quits is easy, but painful. And it was several times we wanted to call it quits because we just,
yeah, do like that boy said.
We just was not seeing eye to eye.
The feeling ain't the same in nobody. No. Gotta let it burn.
No.
Some people gotta let it burn.
No.
When they walk out the door, you gotta let it burn.
It wasn't that the feeling wasn't the same. We were just
the feeling wasn't the same.
We were just fussing and fighting a lot.
Oh, the feeling was not the same.
We were just fussing and fighting. And it's just like I said, it's easy to call it quits. And I think
gotta go.
Yeah, I think that where you have to discern, is it really you need to call it quits, or do you need to work on your problems at that point? Do you need to work on your problems?
Well, let me tell y'all the secret to that. Don't fix that person. Work on you. Work on your patience.
Mm-hmm.
You might get through it and see the other side. I'm just saying, won't give them some little something to go with that, because when I started working on me, didn't care about what you were doing no more. That wouldn't happen for me.
That's when it was cool. Okay. All right. So let's move on to the 90s. Some of y'all too young to know about the 90s. Y'all done heard about the 90s, but y'all don't really know about the 90s, and actually people, who had to get through the 90s. Okay. All right. 18. Moving locations does not always solve problems. Sometimes you think that you can, let's move, move and get a fresh start.
Well,
and if you ain't solved them problems, you carrying them problems right on to the next neighborhood.
Just like the police say,
to the next location.
They coming across straight the state lines with you. Them problems gonna follow you wherever you go.
Wherever you go, those problems gonna go right along with you. And it's good to feel like, hey, we're gonna start anew. We're gonna have a clean slate.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Don't forget about them problems.
But exactly.
That you thought you were leaving behind.
Yeah. Because they weren't.
Just a new house with the same problems.
They weren't resolved.
New area. Ooh, don't be around somebody's family with that. Woo.
Okay. Number 19. Home ownership is an accomplishment. We bought our home when we were 24. It's an accomplishment.
Is it though?
But comes with responsibility. That's the biggest thing that, we see so much around social media, and we're happy. We're happy for anybody. Hey, go ahead, buy that house and all of that. But the responsibility that comes with home ownership, and I mean to tell you what, HVAC and roofing and besides for the constant bills, it is so much responsibility that comes with having a home, and then those problems and responsibilities spill over into your marriage.
Anywho.
They did.
I'm just saying, but a home a home is cool. Again, I don't know if the problems ain't solved and you go, the more stuff you bring into a situation where there's problems already is more problems. I lived it. We got through it. You can get through it. But I'm just saying, all of that, ain't no home, ain't no new car, ain't none of that gonna solve whatever problems you're having.
Right. And so we're saying that, we hear, and you guys may hear it and see it as well, like, oh, home ownership, that's the path to generational wealth and different things. But everything, the blood, sweat, and tears that you put into that home and maintaining that home and a marriage, there's a lot that comes along with that.
You got to maintain that marriage. It ain't the home.
Yeah.
Because the home going to go into the divorce. The home going to get, split asunder?
It's asunder.
It's about to go.
Asunder. And mind you,
ain't going to be no generational wealth after that.
Yeah. Mind you, we were 24 when we did that. So imagine, 21 married, 3 years into the marriage, 24. And now we have this huge responsibility. Yeah, we're happy. We're elated. We're ecstatic. We have a brand new home built from the ground up. We are just over the top.
But again, that's why I work on the marriage. You know, the home, cars, and kids, and all of that stuff come, and it's going to be even a bigger issue concerning marriage. But that's why I work on the marriage, because the cars and that's don't make that the focal point. We're gonna have this big, nice, fancy house. We're gonna have 3 cars in the. We're gonna have 10 kids. That marriage still got to come first.
Right. And number 20. Okay. Great neighbors are priceless. Listen, when you move into a neighborhood,
don't nobody know who Miss G is. Yeah. I was gonna say Miss G. They don't know who Miss G is, but Miss G, shout out to Miss G.
There's a village that can surround you if you know your neighbors, because a lot of times these days people don't know their neighbors.
Oh, Miss G got your back.
People don't know their neighbors, but if you move into a neighborhood and it's full of friendly, of accessible people, that village can really help your marriage. It can surround your marriage.
My mellow.
And they can be priceless. As far as when they're needed.
100, especially when you can just call them up.
Mm-hmm.
Like boom, boom. Miss G, I got a couple of packages coming. Don't even say. She be like, say less. Say less. Oh,
or how about that time that we called her? She said, "Oh, I already got it."
Hey, that package is gonna be 50 pounds, Miss G. I already got it.
Yeah.
What the 50 Miss G?
Yeah, she already got it.
Let me see your muscles, girl.
Mm-hmm. 21. Your marriage can be a model for the neighborhood. Other people can see your marriage and it could be a model for the neighborhood. Now, mind you,
I had no idea.
We didn't lived in this neighborhood over 30 years, so we done seen some stuff. We done seen some drama.
Ain't Miss Jenkins up in here.
We done seen some couple.
Let me tell you about Miss Jenkins.
Yeah, we done seen some couple issues, like for real, right? But you know, then the neighbors always say, "Oh well, Rufus and Jenny, they still over there. They still kicking it. they still."
Well, no, I mean,
they still kicking it.
It's a blessing. At the same time, it's you got to do. I feel it's not just about being an example. It's about being real, right? Like literally, they always say, "Y'all so real," because I ain't trying to be fake, but having those examples in the neighborhood, I think actually enhances the neighborhood. You know, if we can have more examples of successful marriages in our neighborhoods, I mean, again, I think the neighborhoods thrive, get back to being, neighborly.
The neighbor, exactly. The neighborhood, exactly.
People that you can count on.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to be somebody you can count on all the time.
We've become so detached with society. You know, Neighborhood Watch used to be a huge thing.
I don't even think there's no signs in the neighborhood no more.
I think the Neighborhood Watch has switched over to like the HOA.
Ring.
So now they're having these HOAs where they're charging for different things.
Man, people don't even care about that no more. They just put up the ring.
Yeah,
or any type of security camera.
You still have to answer to your HOA because there's codes and enforcements, and then you always got that one Mrs. Kravitz who doing the most, and just all over your spot, different things, and saying you can and cannot have this, and yeah, and then of course the fees. So it has gone from the Neighborhood Watch being free
to
and
the
people
neighborhood
actually
bully.
Policing the neighborhood to the HOA police,
the neighborhood bully.
Yeah, and turning that so we're so kind of unneighborly.
And I get some HOAs are probably really good in some neighborhoods, but some HOAs are really, really bad and they bullies.
Yeah. Okay.
Just literally, man, it's one piece of paper, partner. Pick it up.
We're blessed not to have to deal with that.
My fault.
Bring it back.
I was going there for my boy.
Okay. All right. 22. The 7-year itch is a myth.
The 7-year what?
The 7-year itch, where people get restless in their marriage after 7 years. That's a myth.
Itch?
Yeah, because
what you got going on?
There's a lot of marriages that are
something going on down there or something?
Oh my gosh.
What kind of itch we talking about?
There's a lot of marriages that aren't even lasting 7 years. They're not
How
even
about the
doing...
1-2 year itch?
Yeah, it says
we done pushed that 7 years.
Yeah,
back.
That 7 years has mellowed.
Fly by night.
Mellow.
That's what we call it, fly by night.
No,
they divorced already.
But speaking with people who are in the 30 and above, like us, 30, 35, 40, the 7-year itch is truly a myth. If you get to 7 years and there is problems or issues where you just want to call it quits, you want to do other things, there was something that was going on in year 6. There is something that was going on in year 5.
You tried to ignore it in 3. Yeah. Then 4 came.
Yeah. There was some things that was going on that you didn't address.
They called them little kids the terrible 2. The terrible 4s came.
all of that. Okay. All right. So we're gonna move on to the 2000s, and this is what I like to say that we did the most growth in our marriage. I thought you were going to
say the 99.
Well, in the 99 and the 2000s was when we took our
that's
shahada.
What you always say. I was just waiting for the 99 to come up.
We are actually coming up on our shahada anniversary, which was New Year's Eve. So we are actually coming up on our 25-year shahada anniversary. So yeah, so inshallah. So like
all I know is I believed.
Like I said, the 99 and the 2000s was a turning point for us, shall I say. And I'll say, like I said, this was the most growth that we have done in our marriage. So number 23, faith is a journey. It's definitely was a journey for me because I grew up Baptist, deep in the church, like in the church, like way in the church, summer Bible school and, youth usher board and Sunday school.
Faith is a self journey. I'm going to say it again because a lot of people try to pull people into what they believe. Faith is a self journey, but in a marriage, hopefully becomes a journey.
Yes.
Because if you go with just self all the time, what are we really abiding by in the marriage?
Right.
Who was created by someone other than us.
Now, you may not get to the same place at the same time.
You probably won't.
Yeah. Yeah, because everybody's journey is different.
That's why I said it's self. It just has to turn into a we.
So what needs to happen is that you don't need to compare and berate the other person because they're not where you are. They don't have the understanding that you have. Their faith is not, maybe I'll say, as strong as if we can categorize it as
for
that.
The one in the back of the truck.
Their faith is not as strong as you would like it to be. And this is where we see people maybe diverge on different paths.
And just because your faith is where it is, maybe some things are intolerable to that person who's not on your journey.
Yes.
So
yes, because we all have our own. We all have our own.
Stop
it. Whoa.
I'm back.
Hey. You just said it.
Let the people go on their own journey. Along the way, y'all should be talking. If y'all on, you should be talking because you're married.
Right.
So whatever journey you're on, you still should be talking, but not, you ain't the enforcer. Like those people who want to be the enforcer with all of this, you got to back up and just do what you do.
Okay.
And especially if you a male, just be an example. So just be the best example you could be and still talk because you're still married. I'm not saying don't talk. Okay. So a lot of people get everything twisted around here. I'm just saying back off. Don't be, what's that word I be looking for? Don't be oppressive.
Because then what? Because there's no compulsion in religion.
That's where you at. And that's fine. And don't come off of where you at because where somebody else at. See, that's the other thing. That don't mean give up your beliefs and where you at. And because somebody else believe this, you gonna go down there. That ain't what that's saying. That's just y'all married, talk, but back off
Okay, baby, you better
let the
tell
person
them.
lead
You
their
better
own
tell
look.
them.
Let someone else guide them, who's the best of guiders.
Okay.
I was just saying, I'm trying to.
Okay. Number 24. Number 24. Anniversaries are important. Anniversaries are important. Now, we always pretty much did something for our anniversary. You were good with that, bringing me flowers,
marriage anniversaries,
and marriage anniversaries, and doing something, a card, you all balloons. You always were good with that. But I think it was in our later years that we started doing the trips.
Well, people, when you're saying that, people celebrate a lot of things. But that marriage, because not only because he created it, he loves it. He likes marriage. That's one of his things. It should be celebrated. Not when you first get married. I mean, not just when you first get married. Every anniversary, I would make a point to do something, or to make that a special occasion, because we made it through another year. Again, how many people get through them first 2-3 years? That 7-year thing, I'm done with that. First 2 or 3 years, celebrate.
Yeah. I think most people remember like the first year because it's just like so special. Oh, it's our 1 year anniversary. Some people don't even get through the first year. Right. But it's our 1 year anniversary and they do something, like special.
I almost didn't get through the first year.
Right. And I think, like I said, we're in the 2000s now and we're all the way down to number 24 on the list.
That's where I'm at.
24 or 35.
That's where I'm at.
So our anniversary, we gonna ball out. It's just, for our alhamdulillah, as long as we can, as long as we are able to do that. But this,
a lot of people ball out on their birthday, then the anniversary come and say, well, we enjoyed my 35th.
Yeah, well, we did your birthday and my birthday, and then the anniversary. We're gonna go to
the anniversary. Got to be the one. That's the big one every year. That's the big one, people.
Yeah, that's it. Because this past anniversary trip was to Turkey and Egypt, and that was special.
If you put more emphasis on your birthday, throw the flag.
Stop it. What is this with the throw the flag? What are we talking about?
The big one is the anniversary. That's the big one.
Happy anniversary. My dear.
Ooh, what you know about that, girl?
Hey, what you know about it?
What in the going on around here?
Know about it. Okay. All right. Number 25. Now I'm gonna let you speak on this one, right? Teenagers can test your marriage. Baby.
I mean, you know what?
Woo, we raised 3 boys.
Most people are going to get tested. And a lot of people say the girls. The boys,
they need a man. I'll just be. I'm gonna say it.
Man needed a man. They need a man.
Okay, boy,
man lost their everlasting man.
Teenage boys needs a man.
But I was good. I was
a
good
strong
to
man,
step up,
a strong father figure. James Evans.
But there'll be some women who will say, "Hey, they handled theirs with those kids." Look. If you got a brother or an uncle, still have them on standby, because at some point, as a man, naturally, he's probably going to get stronger than you. And those hits, I remember one time my mama hit me, was like, "Is that all you got?"
Ooh.
Huh? I told her, it come with something else.
I'm sure you hurt her feelings.
This ain't doing it right here no more.
Sure
I didn't tell it to her face. It was just in my head, like, I can do this all day long.
Yeah, teenage boys need a man. People can argue with us all day long, but they need a strong father figure.
So not only with my growing up did I see that happen, but also with my boys. And I just straight out asked them, what's going on? Like, your mama was just telling you this, da 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 da. Well, she ain't gonna handle me like you. They just flat out told me. I said, well, if this is what you want, I got you.
I think it's that balance. That's where the male female balance comes in, because even though you were the strong father figure figure for our boys. Y'all see, we ain't got no baby daddies. We don't have grandkids up here. Our boys are not married yet, but we ain't got no baby daddies. But you were that strong father figure for our boys, but they also had the nurturing from me.
And most people probably already know this, but every child is different. So I ain't saying you're going to have to manhandle all your children, but it could, that one or two, depending on how many you got, you just may have to put
hands.
You might have to do what you got to do. Because if they smelling themselves that much, somebody got to do something.
Yeah.
Because the prison system and the court system and everybody's out of order. My fault.
You going?
but on the real, somebody got to do something. I mean, we can't let these kids constantly keep growing up. And I know how people is parenting these days, and ain't nothing wrong with not putting your hands on your kids. I get all of that, but some of them need some hands.
Sometimes
a
little tough love.
I was coming. It's like I was putting hands on every time they came through the door.
Stop it! No, it wasn't every time.
Open the door. Boom. Open the door.
No. Anywho, next. Okay. Number 26, losing and rebuilding trust. It's gonna happen.
Trust. Again, that's one of those things that's going to be tested in the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can say what we want. We can hope that it's. I often use the term hunky dory.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, people didn't know
what hunky dory was.
I was gonna say it's an old school term.
Well,
so.
Well, it may not be that way. It may be that way to you, but it may not be that way to the other one. So,
and there's nothing wrong with having conversations around trust.
You better have it.
Because people act like they don't see those times. We've seen the TV shows, movies, and different things turn and say, "Do you trust me?" Like you have to make sure that trust is solid.
100. That's something that's built in a marriage. Again, it's not. You can give it automatically, but that don't mean it's going to be honored automatically. So again, you got to build that trust. And hopefully if the other one is trusting, it ain't spilling over. You know what I'm saying? You're not constantly making someone feel that you're not trustworthy.
Right. Okay. Number 27, and we'll be done with the 2000s, the 99 and the 2000s. Jealous family members can put a strain on your marriage. Yes. It can.
I don't know none of them.
It can. Child, please. Yes, it can definitely put a strain on your marriage. I think one of the biggest things is that when the other person doesn't realize it's jealousy that they're dealing with their family members. But when the other spouse is telling them, that's what it is. So that's where that comes in. And it needs to be a certain level of communication to say, hey, I'm telling you. Like, why don't you see it? And then you can have those times and say, okay, just watch. Just sit back and just watch. Just and then let the other person see it. Because sometimes you got to show them.
Well, I mean, the bottom line is, again, that trust. I go back to the trust. I mean, if your spouse or someone is feeling a certain way, whether it's a family member or a friend or anybody concerning, I mean, you should tune into it.
Yes,
you should
always.
Not just tune out
or dismiss it
and leave that to hang. Dismiss like literally, you should tune anything that we tell each other. We should tune into it.
Yeah, and like I said, sometimes if the person doesn't necessarily want to believe you because you're saying it, just say, "I'm going to point this out to you," and just fall back. And let it come into fruition so they could see it. They can see it for themselves.
Sometimes they still may not see it. I mean, we talk to so many couples. Sometimes they still may not see it. But again, the conversation doesn't stop. If someone is feeling a certain way, again, you should tune into it. That's how you should just tune in. I don't care what it is, actually. Even though we're talking about even if it's in your family and there's jealousy or anything like that, or somebody feels a certain way, it's going to show. Right. I mean, it'll show up. I mean, if you want to see it or you don't, it is what it is.
It is. Okay. All right. So we're getting down to our final 7. And this is overall. I just wanted to do like overall throughout of our years. Because like I said, for you guys, I mean, 35 years is a long time. And I know we do not look like the average.
I spent the past 35 years
married. But we don't look like your average 35-year marriage.
That is what Uncle Chuck said.
You know, we're kind of in between people believing that we're actually their elders to people believing we're their peers. You know, because when we go out with our boys, a lot of times we're with our boys, a lot of times our children, not our boys, but our children. And people will think that we're like their age.
I don't care what you think about it. I just want you to think about marriage.
Yeah. So 28. Decisions have to be cohesive for both people. There's a lot of people making decisions in their marriages and it does not jive with both. That was one of the things that started us to do overviews of our marriage and our goals to make sure that our goals were cohesive. Because if one person had this outstanding goal and it was going to take away from different things from our marriage, that wasn't going to work. It's not going to do anything but cause conflict. So why would that, be a goal?
Take away from the lifestyle, take away from what you're doing and ain't doing.
The money.
Just doing what you want up and you wilding out.
Exactly. So why would we, pursue that? So we would have to see if that's something that you really wanted to do. Like I went back to school after our boys. I went back to school after all of our boys graduated high school, and I went back when our oldest son went to college. I went back to school. Back to school. So that was something that was more cohesive for our marriage, and it was a decision, that was good for both. That was good for both of us. Number 29, conflict brews until there is resolved. And we talked about that a little bit more. Like if you move locations, it don't even matter. It does not matter where you go. If you have a conflict on vacation, and we've seen those couples that have fought on vacation, we done got into it on vacation. His parents done got into it on vacation. It's going to brew. It's going to brew until you come to some type of resolve. You got to get some type of conclusion to it.
Because nobody wants to mess up the family vacation.
Goodness gracious.
I tell you, I went outside the hotel one time and my boy said, Daddy, you okay? I said, ain't we're supposed to be on vacation.
You had to rethink your situation.
Why is they concerned about whether I'm okay?
You had to rethink your situation.
That's something that happened between me and my wife, and now my boys is involved.
Mm-hmm. Got to rethink it. Yep.
100. Yep. Again, it's resolved because you not want to be on vacation, and it's not a vacation.
No, you don't want those type of memories.
It ain't feeling like a vacation. It ain't acting like a vacation.
You don't want those type of memories. Okay. Number 30. Peace is more than just being quiet. Got to have inner peace. Got to have inner peace. Just because you be quiet, that don't mean that you're at peace.
Oh no, you could be in turmoil.
Yes,
just sitting there.
Yes. And then you start internalizing the feeling. Your chest start hurting and your stomach start hurting. You ever had that feeling in your throat, your mouth or whatever, because it's just something that's just hurting.
Well, you
can't get it out.
I call it beefing yourself up. What you beefing yourself up for? Sitting there and all of that little anger you got. That ain't nothing but anger that's is coming out somewhere. It's gonna come out, and it's gonna, and that's where other people, innocent people, get harmed with someone else's anger. Because if you can't hurt that person that you're trying to hurt, then you're gonna try to hurt them with their family members or with this. Everything gonna come into play with trying to hurt that person. So you're literally sitting peace is everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going, and again, you can't spend your marriage with too much time in anger.
Number 31, your mate should never, ever have to question your sincerity.
Ever
Question your sincerity. Anything that you do towards your mate, you should always be sincere.
But early on, look, people, it ain't gonna happen overnight. Early on, these are some of the things that these are the obstacles of marriage. And so, no, you definitely don't want your mate
questioning your sincerity.
You definitely don't want your mate on the other side.
Okay.
You want your mate right there with you. So again, as long as they know who you are.
Yeah.
I mean, it's about being true.
Mm-hmm.
So again, don't be something that you ain't, and then now they don't know who you are. Cause she know a lot of look. Again, I'm one of them people. I don't have to have a serious face to be serious. I could be dead serious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Huh? And
you have to know the person though.
That's
it's
what I'm
like
saying.
Years of knowing the person.
That's why I said it ain't gonna happen overnight.
Yeah. Number 32, you have to commit to loving daily. Every day you get up, you have to commit. You have to commit to loving daily because people fall out of love. You hear that term, falling out of love. Oh, I fell out of love with this person.
I love you, but I'm not in love with you.
Right. So did you commit to loving? Because loving is not just physical feelings. It's not.
I think we went over that before too. It ain't just that ain't it. Right? Yeah, you got to know that somebody love you.
Mm-hmm. There's a care and concern, a level of care and concern that comes with loving the person, and you have to commit to loving daily. I don't think people know that either, because a lot of times, especially if you go along with marriage, you end up being like roommate. People live as roommates and they function as roommates, and there's not that level of care and concern and lovingness that that is involved in a marriage. So getting back to that. Okay, so that was number 32. Number 33, stay clear of energy and time wasters. Trust and believe that. People will waste your time and energy and it spills over into your marriage. Ooh, baby.
Some people like going on vacation together. Okay, if you're waiting on the Thompsons to come through every single year and it's 3-4 hours late, guess who getting left?
Yeah.
We ain't gonna wait now because we already starting out wrong.
The energy that you put into other people may be energy that you need in your marriage. The way people will waste your time because they're feeding off of your energy. They love your vibe. They love the things that you're doing. I'm gonna even just go a little bit more detailed into that because I'm gonna say something right now. We wrote our book, Surviving Marriage in the 21st Century, over here. Over here, over there. Surviving Marriage in the 21st Century over 11 years ago. There have been people that we've known since we have written this book that have still yet to get married. They say they're looking for marriage. They're still yet to get married. But they will nickel and dime you for time, for information, for different things. So 11 years, we're playing this game, right? So I'm supposed to be accessible and available to you because you're wasting my time and you're wasting my energy because you're playing. But I'm supposed to be accessible and available. No, you have to shut that down. You have to discern who is wasting your time and who is wasting your energy, and stay clear of that because it can spill over into your marriage.
You can waste my time if I ain't got nothing to do. You can't waste my time when I'm going somewhere or I'm doing something. Or, hey, well, we already done been here for the past 10 years.
We on the move, right? We in the same spot. You in the same spot. We ain't in the same spot, but you there.
It's all there, good. Right? You do you.
All right, number 34.
But I ain't gonna do you with you.
Happy couples inspire other happy couples to be happy. And you can see that people can, once again, people who feed off your time and energy to waste it, people can also feed off of your energy to be happy. Like you inspire me to do this. You inspire me to love marriage. You inspire me to be married. You inspire me to work on my marriage. You inspire me to be a better person. And happy couples, when they see that and it radiates, they can inspire people, other couples, to be happy.
The Thompsons on that 5th year said they finna leave in 10 minutes.
Why it gotta be the Thompsons?
We better get ready to go. Because they going to be gone.
Yes.
Or we going to be going on vacation by ourselves. Ain't nothing wrong with that either. Go on your time.
All right. So number 35, and we've talked about this. I've put it out to people. People have all kinds of opinions and different things. Is marriage a noun, the state of being married, or is marriage a verb? Marriage is a verb. Marriage is a verb. It is a vibe, and it is a verb, and it is something that you work on. Being in the state of marriage is a constant state of working.
It is 100% something you do.
Yeah. People are always saying
it's an action.
It is an action. Okay. Then verb. How does that verb go? It's that verb, Schoolhouse Rock.
Anyway, do you?
I need the little Schoolhouse Rock right now. But people always want to ask us, like, why do you guys call it surviving marriage? And some people get turned off by that. I explain
turn yourself off.
Exactly. Yeah. We don't pretty much put too much into that.
I bet you think about a dozen things that you survived in that marriage.
Because if you have not been married, then you don't know what it takes to sustain a marriage. And if you have been married and divorced, then yours didn't survive. And if you have been married for quite some time or still working on it, you are surviving.
Yeah, but let's go with the people. We talked to people who said, well, we don't have no problems in our marriage. Okay, y'all have no problem? Well, yeah, because if I don't like something this person do or whatever, I'll just go along with it. You survived it then.
Exactly. But you can't say that you don't have it. We don't ever believe that to say that I don't have no problems.
Well, I don't believe it because he said it's one of our biggest tests in this life.
Yeah, and if we sit and talk to someone long enough and ask certain questions, it comes out.
That's what I'm saying. They say we don't argue. We don't do if that person want to do something, okay. Yeah. You set back in the cut because for sake of argument, you let them do what they wanted to do. So you survived it.
Yeah. Yes,
quit playing.
Survival skills, survival tactics.
Play if you want
and to. Different things. And don't know how long you're going to survive that because it might come to a point where that bothers you. That might be.
Oh, no, they actually said it bothered them. But again, they tolerated it. So they didn't see it as a survival technique. They just saw it as we get along. You made sure y'all got along because had you said, no, I don't want to do it this way this time, then you would have had if they said they didn't argue, whatever. I mean, again, that's how y'all surviving it though.
Right. Okay. So those were our 35 things. And like I said, there will be a listing in our show notes, but there's going to be a blog. So you guys will be able to see all of it, listed and that kind of thing, right? So just like we do speed round with everybody else, we're going to do our own speed round this time, so we get to do each other. And the first question in our speed round is number 1, better fashion sense. That would be me.
Huh?
Better fashion sense. Me.
Okay.
Number 2, pickier eater. I thank you.
Oh, you is what is going on?
I think you.
Well, what's that? The newlywed game? We failed.
Yeah, I think that's you. 3, more competitive.
I'm definitely competitive.
I was gonna say I think we're equal on that. I think we're both equal. Yeah, I'm competitive.
Well, come play me in Madden.
Not that type of competitive.
Oh no, I compete on every level.
No, I'm not that type of competitive.
I compete everything.
I'm competitive. Okay, number 4, more spontaneous. That would be me. That would be me.
Kizzy means stay put.
No, Kizzy gotta go abroad. Number 5, more optimistic. That would be me.
100.
That would definitely be me. Okay. All right. That is our speed round. And we're going to do one card from our card game, just like we do every other couple that comes on here. Okay. And we're going to do it randomly. If you guys don't know, this is our couples card game. We did 99 questions for one great conversation.
See how I did to that lighting? Yeah, buddy.
For one great conversation. You guys can see it a little bit better, right? Oh, shoot. They can see it. Okay. And on the back, there's three categories: for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, and sickness and health. And you guys can get our card games on our website at survivingmarriagetips.com. But we're just going to do one of the card games, and we're going to do it randomly out of here. So I'm just going to pick one, right? Let's see what we got here. And it's going to be from In Sickness and in Health. What does generational health is generational wealth mean to you? What does generational health is generational wealth mean to you? It means that when you take care of yourself, that you can help sustain generationally, because health is wealth too. So it's just not about monetary wealth.
Yeah, see, I'm just I'm not about all this money on this earth.
But you gotta take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself,
definitely about health.
Yeah, if you don't take care of yourself, you cannot sustain in some other type of way.
Well, and that's what we teach our children. I'm saying right now, I mean, they'll get what we have, but my thing is them and their health. My thing is, as a family, are we getting more educated about our health? Because again, growing up, that just wasn't it. So right. I feel health is wealth.
My parents, and I'm a few years shy of how, my parents were both 59. So a few years shy of that, and they definitely had different diets and different things and different education as far as health was concerned.
And it means different things to everybody out there. So, I mean, we just encourage people to have those conversations, because somebody might be thinking of wealth. I'm more so on the health.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Okay. All right. We don't have a food for thought for today because we did our list for 35 things. So we are going to start wrapping it up, dear. Now, ways that you guys can support us. Share, subscribe, rate, and review. I've already told you guys about that. Share, subscribe, rate, and review. Follow us across social media at Rufus and Jenny. We're Rufus and Jenny on YouTube and Facebook. We're also on Instagram. And then find us on Instagram at Surviving Marriage and Facebook at Surviving Marriage Podcast. And you guys can also grab our couples card game that we just played from our website at survivingmarriagetips.com. And yeah. And make sure that you constantly share our videos. That's support. That's that free $.99 support.
You can find us on one of them cruises.
Yeah. You find us traveling, right? Okay. All right. You ready to ride, dear?
Depends.
I've been riding with you for 35 years. Remember, marriage is a marathon, not a sprint. We are surviving it. And so can you.
And we are Rufus and Jenny. Until the next episode, y'all be cool. We'll be men and wives.